Hey, Egg Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. I've got a hour or so before I need to close up the greenhouse today, make sure it doesn't overheat. So I took a walk through a little town that I teach at and decided to sit down on a bench after grabbing some snacks. And one of the things about being an ag teacher is we talk to our students a lot about food and product development and ingredients and just everything that's in food. It's a part of agriculture, so it's something that we cover. And as I was sitting here, I noticed that there has been, unless this is like a Mandela effect, I'm pretty sure that the Voortman Bakery strawberry wafers used to be completely pink, right? So these guys, which are delicious, used to be pink, like a bright pink. And so I started to look at what I grabbed. And it has real strawberry powder, but it doesn't have any red dye number 3 or red dye number 40. So it seems that they skipped that part. So rather than going through and finding a vegetable alternative, they just eliminated it. Darigold. Yep, so strawberry milk. Low-fat milk, milk sugar, natural strawberry flavor and other natural flavors, carrageenan, and red 40. So that got me thinking about the new changes that they did with food dyes and eliminating red dye number 3 and red dye number 40. Sounds like a great idea. However, that's a change. I'd say, hold on. You're going to need to change your labeling if that's what you're going to do. And, RFK, I hope you see this video. You are going to make the life miserable for a large swath of America that has to go through and actually read labels. So they're going to get there and they're going to read that label and they're going to be looking for something. And they're going to come down to the end of that label and it's going to say vegetable-based dye. Okay, cool. Vegetable-based dyes are great. Not so fast. What's the vegetable? For most Americas, it doesn't matter. They don't care what the vegetable is, but there is a large portion of, well, at least a significant portion, maybe it's not large, but there is a portion of Americans out there that need to know what the vegetable is. And I really don't care about trade secrets. I care whether or not a food is safe to consume for someone that has food allergies. And this is something that's changed. I'd call it the Kraft mac and cheese effect. Many years ago, Kraft mac and cheese was awesome. It was great as a kid. And then a bunch of health-conscious mothers complained that it had artificial colors in it. So they changed it. It's not the same. And the chemicals or the vegetable agents that they decided to use for coloring eliminated that as a food option for a significant number of people. They use paprika now as their coloring agent, and if you didn't know, paprika is not a spice, it's actually a type of pepper. So anyone with a nightshade allergy, so an allergy to anything in the tomato, potato, or pepper family, now can't eat Kraft mac and cheese. And I'm a label reader, and I see these coloring agents in all sorts of things where they're unexpected. I've found paprika in children's cereal. Never would have thought it was there. I found it in beverages. I found it in baked goods. They're using it as a coloring agent, and that's an allergen to a number of people. And that's kind of the same thing that I'm seeing is with the new switch to new food labeling guidelines, we are saving one group at the cost of sacrificing another. We've used artificial food dyes for many, many years, and I'm not going to get into the science of what is good, bad, or healthy, but for some people, the short-term dangers of natural food dyes are greater than the long-term dangers of natural food dyes. If it's something that can send you an anaphylactic shock, that's kind of important to know. And for some people, it's not necessarily an immediate thing. It's a quantitative thing. If you eat too many things in a row that have that food allergen, then you get a reaction rather than just one. But that's an unintended consequence. So this is probably one of the last times that you will see Darigold strawberry milk with red dye number 40 in it. Next time you see it, it could have beet juice in it. It could have paprika in it. It could have tomato puree. It can have all sorts of things in there as a vegetable coloring. And under the current guidelines, they don't require you to list what that coloring is. Just like if you have an allergy to certain spices and you look at food packages, it'll just say spices. The FDA doesn't require them to label things if they are in small enough quantities, even though that might be a significant enough quantity to set off allergens in certain groups of people. They did the same thing with the additive of sesame. So sesame was recently added to the list of top allergens. It's one you have to declare. So rather than doing extra work, all the companies did is they just added sesame seeds and sesame flour to the product so they could list it, rather than going through and doing allergen prevention techniques. So there's a whole process they have to do to ensure that there's no allergens there. So really, though I do appreciate Food and Drug looking out for our well-being, I am more concerned at the lack of changes in labeling if we're going to do this. So if you're going to switch, you better tell people what that vegetable dye is. Tell us what plant it comes from. Don't just say vegetable-based dye. That doesn't help people out. Anyway, that was just a little thought that I had while looking at my afternoon snack and seeing what's changed. Strawberry. But I'm really looking forward to the red dye number 40. Anyway, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Ag Teacher Thoughts out.